Hi, in this video I'd like to talk to you a bit about the OpenCRVS core project and what it's like to work with us and how you could contribute to our backlog if you want to, or attend to bugs. You know, what happens when you raise a bug with us, etc. So our entire backlog is available, of course, in issues, and you can create an issue at any time and request a bug fix or something like that, or a feature, and you can go to new issue and you can create a request and ask us anything. You can also raise an issue in discussions, and you can ask us about any technical problem that you're having, and the whole team can respond to you and help you in any way. Now, once you've submitted an issue or asked a question, or if you just want to know what's the progress of the general OpenCRVS project, then take a look at the Projects tab in GitHub and open the OpenCRVS core project. So when you open the OpenCRVS core project, you can see which issues and features are going to be worked on in the next release. That could be on the current release or the new releases that are coming up. You can see all of the releases and what's currently in scope for those releases. So you can see where your issue is in the backlog. Is it coming soon, or is it coming at some point in the future, or is it not prioritized yet? So you can see every issue here and search and check the progress of them. If you have submitted a bug, you will see it in the Bugs tab, and you will see where the priority is for that, addressing that bug. Bugs which are high priority will be addressed first, obviously, and our quality assurance team will review the bug. They will decide, is this something which is critical, affecting business process, or is this just an improvement, or something like that, and we'll assign resources accordingly. If you've suggested a technical improvement, then you'll see that technical improvement in the non-functional tab, and again you'll see the priority of that issue. You'll also see which release it's scheduled to be in. Now, if you want to, you can pick up any issue in our backlog which is assigned to a milestone. So if you see an issue which is in the backlog, so you can see the status is backlog, or perhaps the status is ready to build, you can pick up any one of these issues and you can work on it. You can mention in the issue comments, I'd like to help with this, and our team will work with you to advise you how it could be done. And then the in build tab shows you a Kanban view of the day-to-day progress of that ticket through the pipeline of development. So it could be that there is still an outstanding question on the ticket which needs to be resolved, in which case it could be blocked. It could be actively in development and assigned to one of the core development team, or assigned to yourself. It could be submitted for code review. It could be ready to QA. It could be deployed to one of our quality assurance environments, and our quality assurance engineers could be reviewing it, and provided that all passes, the ticket is completed and the ticket is moved to into the release branch. So it's probably important for you to understand how pull requests work. So I'm just going to leave GitHub projects and go back to the repository. So if you have picked up an issue and if you have been working on it, then you will likely open a pull request for that issue. For example, here a developer has been working on a bug, OCRVS 6492. I think it's very helpful if you name your branches, OCRVS hyphen, and then the specific issue number that you think this pull request addresses. And make sure that the base branch for your pull request is the release branch associated with the milestone for that issue. So if we looked at the issue 6492, I'll open that in parallel. Okay, so this was the bug ticket that was created. You can see that the milestone that it's due to be fixed in is release 1.3.3. Then you know that the base branch for this PR should be the release version 1.3.3 branch. If you are working on the latest next major release, such as 1.4, then the base branch is the develop branch. So the develop branch, which is the default branch, is always aligned to the upcoming major release. Then there are release branches for hotfixes and patches. This is explained in our documentation. In the releases section, we talk about our branching strategy and our release calendar. So you can take a look at that page and you will see how we organize our branches for releases. You can see the rough calendar that we adhere to. Generally, every 4 months we will do a major release. We will have patch releases every month. And here you can see the branching diagram to kind of show you where you would be basing your bugs, your hotfix releases are off release branches, whereas the major releases are branching from the develop branch. Then you can also see what kind of quality assurance it will go through. So if you open a pull request, such as this bug fix I was talking about before, the branch is named appropriately, it's based off the appropriate branch, and you can use labels to help the core team respond to your work. So one of the labels which you may be using quite commonly is the work in progress label. So for example, if you're not quite ready yet to have this looked at, but you still want to post some commits, just mark this work in progress, and you can also have a label question if you'd like to ask for some help. Once you think it is ready for review, you can add the label waiting for review, and then one of the team will take a look at your code. Now, every pull request will automatically kick off some continuous integration checks, specifically linting and unit tests. So there's a unit test suite of about 600 tests which automatically run in every pull request. And if any of those tests fail, you will see a label failing tests, and you'll be required to fix the tests, fix the unit tests, to fix whatever issue in your code is breaking them, or perhaps to write new tests. We have a unit testing coverage of close to 80%. So if your pull request is reducing code coverage, you will have to write some unit tests. So we use the Jest testing library. You can also use the React testing library. There's Vite testing libraries you can use. It doesn't really matter which one, but there must be unit test coverage for your code. And You can add, I think I mentioned you add this waiting for review label if you want someone to actually to look at the code. Then you'll notice that once the team has looked at the code, they may mark that the pull request has conflicts, in which case you may need to fix conflicts with the base branch, or they may say a green label saying looks good to me, which says, you know, this is fine from this code reviewer's perspective. This is ready to merge, and probably once it's been reviewed by about 2 of the major core team maintainers, then the PR will be merged. Sometimes you may see an on hold label. This is generally just advising the maintainers that we should hold off merging this until perhaps a new release branch exists. So we generally have 2 active release branches at any one time. There will be a release branch for the current release and for any patches on that. There'll be another release branch for the previous release and any patches to the previous release. So we explain in our releases documentation that we maintain the previous release for a limited time. It's 6 months. So at the end of 6 months, we will stop patching the previous release. So when a new major release comes out, for 6 months we will patch the previous release, and then we'll be asking all maintainers to upgrade. You should upgrade before then. So you keep an eye on the releases that are coming out. When you see a major release, you need to be aware that the previous release is only going to be maintained from that point onwards for 6 months. That's just because we're a very small team. We don't quite have the resources to maintain previous releases for any longer than that. That position may change in the future as we get more funding. So yeah, I think that's all you really need to know. You can see in the repo, the releases tab will show you the currently available release, and if you click on this link here, you can see patches that are being released for the previous release. So these will continue, patches to the new release will continue. So at the moment 1.4 has just been released. So that means 1.3 will be maintained for 6 months from January 2024. So, you know, we can expect by the summertime patches on 1.3 will cease when 1.5 comes out, and then 1.4 patches will be maintained. So you might be asking yourself, regarding new features, how do we estimate how long they'll take? Well, we do a very high level estimation for each feature based on the technical design that we think is required for that feature. So I'll just open up a feature to explain. Okay, so here's a feature which is coming in 1.5 release. It's called mass email to all users. And this is what a feature ticket looks like. We've got a description for that feature. We work using Agile Scrum methodology. So you will see a list of acceptance criteria which the quality assurance engineer will be following when they are assessing if the solution should be passed. So they're written, given I was this user, when I perform this action, then I expect to see some reaction. You will see a link to design if there's UI design involved, and you will see dev tasks that have been created by the technical team. So if you see a feature in the backlog which has no explanation, it's probably just the design team hasn't addressed it yet. If you see a technical task which you think requires no UI, you can create dev tasks if you think you know how to fix it. So these are little checks, and what we do in our agile process is we read each of the dev tasks and we estimate it using Fibonacci point scoring. So we'll say, for example, this first task, create the UI for the form, pop-up and toast notifications. As a team, based on our experience, we might say, okay, that might take 3 points worth of effort. We might say it takes 1 point of effort, or 2 points, or 5 points, or 8 points. And then we add up all of the points and we write the eventual estimate in the estimate input. You can see there's a high level estimate, which this is basically our technical architect has looked at this ticket and made a guess. Based on their experience, they think that this is a medium level task. Now, what does that mean? Well, there is a small panel you can open up to see what the high level task equates to in terms of points. So in the project details tab, you can see an explanation about, first of all, about how we prioritize features and bugs. With, how do we decide what's high priority, what's low priority? It's all written here. And then we can say, if something is a medium item, for example, we think that probably that's going to be a 26-point effort to complete. And then you can see what our burn down is for team size for a sprint. So for example, if you had 2 developers in your team and you were addressing a medium ticket item, then it could take, if you say you could probably do 15 points per sprint, then 2 sprints, so that's 4 weeks, because each sprint is 2 weeks long. It would take you 4 weeks to develop that medium item into a situation where it was ready for quality assurance. So that gives you an idea about the length of time issues take to get developed. So I think that pretty much covers what it's like to work with us and how we respond to the backlog, and how you can help out. So if you have capacity and you would like to support this open source project, we really welcome contributors. Please get in touch with us in GitHub discussions. Mention the ticket you would like to work on, and then we can invite you as a collaborator, and you can get coding. If you're a collaborator, then you are actually able to move tickets around. So you can pick up a ticket and ready to build, and you can actually say, right, I'm going to move it and I'm going to work on it, etc. So you have that capability to interact with the project board. Otherwise, you're more than welcome, even if you're not a contributor, just to start working something and we can move the tickets for you. Thank you very much.